Hi, Amy.
Heavy.
Today we watched 90 Day Fiancé UK, Season 4, Episode 12. It's the last one.
Oh God, thank God.
What? You're happy it's over? No.
Kind of.
Oh.
I think a lot of these storylines are dry. Most of my excitement has dissolved, and I'm just ready to wrap things up with this one. It was
I
a great
see.
season overall. Great season.
Yes, I concur. It was a great season. I'm sad it's going away. I don't know what's next after this show, and it's probably not going to be as good. But this week, I really enjoyed the tying up of the stories.
Mm-hmm.
There was an exception or two. I believe that some people will make it, but I also feel very strongly that there's no hope for others, and we will have a 180 when it comes time for the tell-all in their storylines. Yes.
Yeah, I look forward to that.
Yes. So let's dive in, but before we do, 1, rate, review, and follow us wherever you listen to the podcast. 2, watch us on YouTube at 90 Day Fiancé, honestly. And now we can discuss.
All right.
Phin and Sandra. So Sandra's answer to the proposal at the radio station is yes, but. And the but is that he has to move to Brazil. Again, this seems really odd to me that it's coming up now. Did they not discuss this right from the beginning? Am I having a mental breakdown? Is the menopause distorting my reality? Has it not always been the case that he was planning to move to Brazil?
Mm-hmm. From the
Okay.
very beginning.
That's what I thought.
Yes. So I think the storyline is just stupid and tired.
In any case, it's a fair but, I think, especially given the mood that Sandra was in before the proposal took place, the fact that they were arguing and hadn't yet resolved that argument. So, yes, the proposal is going to come with a but. I'm surprised it didn't come with more buts. And Phin is kind of disappointed in her answer. I think he was hoping for a resounding yes, 1,000 times yes.
And was disappointed with her reaction, though I found his response to be quite childish. Him not even wanting to give her a hug.
Yep.
And you can't say that you didn't know that this engagement would be contingent upon him moving, because she's not going to be moving her 2 kids, her extensive family, nor is she just going to leave them. This is a non-issue.
It's totally unreasonable. Why are we going down this path? Why is it even something that's coming up at this point? But childish is exactly the word that I wrote down for his reaction, but also her reaction, because at first it was, I want a hug. Can you come here? Give me a hug. No, I'm not going to come over there, which is clearly as a result of her not being very enthusiastic in her response to his proposal. He's got his nose out of joint, and then he wants to give her one. He's changed his mind, but now she doesn't want one. I don't like this tit for tat between them. It's not healthy.
Me neither. I'm not her biggest fan. She seems to be very uncompromising, and I'm not saying that she should compromise with regards to the move. I think she just needed to be a little more upfront about everything.
Her reaction after the proposal when she says that she's heartbroken is very, very sad. That is not the way you want to feel once your beloved has just asked you to marry them. And I thought, okay, this is done. We're finished. It's over. They're going to wrap things up, and these two are going to go their separate ways. And things are so bad that Phin is staying at a friend's house, and she is, just surviving on her own in his place?
I guess so. Someone has to feed the cat. But I thought it was rich that he said, he can't deal with conflict, but he's really going to have to figure it out. Did they need to spend that time apart? Maybe. I don't know. But then when they met up the next day, it was just so awkward, because she said that she wants him to be the man that he was 2 years ago. So are you saying that you want him to change, or, you're not accepting who he is in this present day? There's just she doesn't really specify what he wants from him. And I can see that being difficult for him to understand, because she hasn't been clear about all the things.
Well, I think she's pretty clear about the fact that she wants more affection from Phin. He's not demonstrative at all, and he recognizes that he doesn't do it for her in that category. So if he's aware of that, you would think that awareness should give him enough initiative to then make a change so that he can improve his relationship with her. Seems pretty simple. But when they met at the park and she said, how do we fix this? That's what she's asking him. And he says, I really don't know. I was like, what is wrong with you guys? You're two grown adults. Surely there is something that you could put forth as a small gesture, as some little step towards reconciliation at this point. Finn, why don't you offer to give her a hug? Or Finn, why don't you offer to start learning Portuguese so that you're making an effort to fit into the culture and showing her that your intention is to move to Brazil?
Hmm.
It's like they're so stubborn. They can't even give each other just an inch when they need it the most.
Yeah, it was frustrating to watch. I'm over their storyline. And the fact that he said, this actually might be it, I was like, maybe that's for the best because this entire trip has not gone well for either one of them.
It's been such a bad trip. I'm
Hmm.
so, so sorry for them that this is where they ended up after all the hope. And even Finn being as misguided as saying, oh, I hope she loves England so much that she decides to move here. Like, oh, this could not have gone any worse.
No, no, it was super uncomfortable. And again, I'm not her biggest fan. I think he has a lot of growing up to do, though I'm glad at the end he just said flat out, I'm going to move to Brazil. Okay,
Well,
great.
yeah. Well, hang on, because we gotta go to the ultimatum. She does give
Yeah.
him an ultimatum when they're in the park, which I
Right.
thought was very bold of her. I mean, bold in that an ultimatum is always a bold thing to do, but maybe not so bold in the fact that, like we said before, it was already their intention for him to move to Brazil. It was already set in, you would think, stone that he was going there so that they could be together. Yet we have this contrived situation where now he's saying he doesn't know and he'd rather she move to England. So he gets the ultimatum and he has, I think it's like a 24-hour period to think about it. I'm not exactly sure how much time elapses between the park meeting and when they go to dinner with each other.
Hmm.
But during that time, yes, each of them has to think it through and decide, is it worth it? Or are we just going to say goodbye to each other and end things now? And obviously, in that time, you know that Sandra's been talking to her sister.
Hmm.
And I
Yes.
want to know what those conversations were. That was a big piece, I think, that was missing out of this whole puzzle. Why didn't they show us a little bit of that interaction so that we could see whether or not Sandra's sister was on her side, if she was persuading her to just come home, or if she was saying, hey, give Finn a chance. You guys have invested a lot of time and your relationship was going so well before all of this.
And then
That,
also for her to talk to her sister about, Finn calling and like accosting her about her relationship with her ex and
yeah.
whether or not she's trying to get them back together. And like, we didn't really see any resolution with that other than Finn saying, thanks, I feel a lot more comfortable, which is nothing. So,
And then the dinner. Okay. So the question is, Finn, are you going to move to Brazil? That's it. Ultimately, that's what the entire future of the relationship rests on, this question. And he says, yes. Wonderful.
okay, great.
But is he doing stuff about it? I mean, when he said, oh, you'd be surprised how much Portuguese I've been learning, how hard I've been working to become more familiar with the language. Like, why don't you give her a couple of examples? Why don't you exchange a couple of sentences so that we can see that you've learned a little bit? But instead, he sings this song, which is hilarious, about the green mangoes. I laughed so much when he was singing his song. It was so funny.
Again, so awkward. Like, I could barely watch it. Like, I kept diverting my eyes. It was just cringy.
I didn't find it cringy at all. I loved it. I thought he was being wonderful and vulnerable. Typical Finn that we've seen in the past, that we've liked, that we've admired in him. And she was being her kind of dry, acerbic self with, oh, please don't sing that again, please. It was finally a moment where I felt they were connecting and being a real couple. Their banter was good. They were both lighthearted. They were
Mhm.
joking with each other. It was good. It was natural. It was organic. I loved
It was
that.
cute. Yes.
So I think the song was an excellent way for him to kind of break the ice between the two of them and show that, yeah, he's willing to let himself be a little bit vulnerable. And when his true character shines through in those moments, you can see why she's attracted to him. You can see why they work well as a couple.
He does have some endearing qualities, and it was really nice to see them actually enjoy each other's company. Because, as I said previously, this entire trip has been a disaster. So, to end it on such a high note,
And of course, they finally give each other hugs, which is what she'd been asking for all this time. She got the physical closeness that she wanted. Easy, so simple. Why don't you just hug her more often, Finn? No,
nope.
too much work.
Yep.
Okay, then. Shall we read on?
Mm-hmm.
We have Sarah and Marco next. We've been left hanging for a couple of weeks now as to what Sarah's dad's response to Marco would be when he asked for permission and then revealed that, in fact, they have already gotten engaged and it was a while ago. So dad is very happy to say, yes, this is great news. Congratulations. He supports their decision. Sarah comes downstairs to hear the good news that her dad has accepted this permission asking, although it really isn't permission asking at this point. And then she
More
reveals that
performative.
they actually got engaged 3 months ago, which makes dad ask a very awkward question. When did Marco tell his family about their engagement? And I felt so, so bad for the dad in this moment
Mm-hmm.
to be excluded from his daughter's joy for so long. And you could see Marco was really trying to gloss over the amount of time that it had been, saying it was about a month ago. Mm, I
Really?
don't believe that.
No, me
No,
neither.
no, no. But at least that part of their conflict is resolved. They can
Yes.
move on. So the next question for them is setting the date for the wedding and where are they going to live? Marco decides that he's going to leave this decision-making process up to Sarah. Do you believe that that was a good thing to do or not?
Well, at first I wondered, is he compromising or is he just shirking the responsibility and burden onto her? And is it a method of control so that if she decides she wants to stay in the UK, then he can resent her for that decision because he didn't have any part in it? And then Sarah meets up with her friend who says exactly what I wrote in my notes.
Yeah, but there's another element to this, which you didn't mention. Yes, obviously, he could be saying, you choose so that I get to resent you later because you made the choice. But also, you choose because I know that you will feel so guilty about me giving the choice up to you that you will then acquiesce and decide that Italy is the right
Ah,
choice.
yes, yes, I didn't note that one.
Yeah. So it's a really an icky, icky question. I felt it was definitely a trap.
Mhm.
And no matter which way she decided, one of them was going to feel resentful or hurt, and one of them was going to feel either controlled or slighted
Mhm.
because they were not part of the decision making process together.
Yes.
And I thought you were going to be very happy that we were seeing Nikki again, she of the lovely voice
The lovely yes, yes.
and the
It was
wonderful
nice to
advice.
see her. She's so real, and, I love the way that she calls Sarah out, and again, how she mimics everything that I had already written in my notes about the resentment. You 2 need to make this decision together, like, you really need to push that this is a mutual decision to avoid the resentment.
Mhm.
Yes, thank you. And I think that's really what she needed to hear because I think without having her friend's voice of reason, I think she just would have gone and made that decision and then suffered the consequences.
And as it stands, what happens next when she goes out to dinner with Marco, I felt was not her putting into action Nikki's advice because they're talking about, okay, where do we live next? And Sarah brings up, well, I spoke to Nikki and Nikki said.
Mhm.
So she's not taking ownership for the fact that she is going along with Nikki's advice and thinks that that's the best course of action. She's basically putting it all on Nikki, which I thought was really, really interesting. That's a great way to absolve yourself of any wrongdoing if it turns out that Marco's reaction is, why are you listening to your friend's advice? Like, that's horrible. That's terrible advice. I think it's dreadful.
Yeah.
Then
And then,
Sarah could
oh,
say,
it's Nikki's fault. Never mind.
right. So the idea that the suggestion for how to go through this discussion has to come from her friend, I found that revealing of perhaps Sarah is afraid to make this her own choice, to really take ownership of what's happening in the moment. Just going to put it on Nikki for now.
Yeah. She's being very avoidant about it.
But his response to that is very interesting when he asks her, well, you've never actually told me what you prefer. What do you want? Which was a good way to go about it, I think.
Mhm. It was non-confrontational. It seemed, I wanna say compassionate, "Please just speak to me. Tell me where you're at. What are you thinking?" And I didn't see that coming from him, so I was quite surprised when he did that.
I was also pleasantly surprised by Marco's reaction. And then when Sarah explains, let's live in England because my job, my family, all those things are really important to me and they're here. This will give me time to learn Italian so that at some point in the future we can look at moving to Italy. And then I thought she added this little bit on at the end, which was kind of sneaky. And maybe you'll fall in love with England in the meantime, so that he won't actually want to ever go back to Italy. It's a funny little moment, but the way that this resolved, I thought was pretty good. We're actually seeing some flexibility from Marco. We are seeing Sarah's habit of deferring to the man and of being slightly afraid. I think that's obvious of what he's going to say and what he's going to do based on her past relationships. This went well.
Agreed. I think it was a positive interaction. And, I'm proud of them for being so mature and for approaching it in this fashion as opposed to, shirking the responsibility onto each other. And it was nice to see them get on the same page because he also acknowledged, yeah, I have my job, but you have your job, your friends, your family. Maybe it would be best if we moved to the UK. So we saw flexibility. Oh, you already said that. Just confirming that, yes, flexibility.
Anything else for Sarah and Marco? Okay. Let us read on then. We've got Andy and Arrah.
In the UK.
Yay!
Already.
They made it. The greeting at the airport was absolutely wonderful. I love that.
It was so cute, especially with like the little cutout. I thought it was so lovely that, they went out of their way to greet her and at the airport and then they left. It wasn't like, Betty, I'll meet you at the airport and then I'm going to come and live with you. It was so nice. It was a beautiful welcoming. I think it really made Arrah feel supported and accepted. And I loved how she kept throwing around the mom and dad, and it was so cute. And then to go back to his house and to see the way that they decorated it with, the card and the flower petals, the balloons and the champagne, like I teared up a little bit. I thought that was so thoughtful, so considerate, so loving. What a great way to continue to welcome her. Like there was that forethought in it. And I just really appreciated that Andy's parents went out of their way to welcome her to the family and not having it all on Andy. There's only so much that he can do to make her feel welcome. And I think they really went over and above to make sure that they did what they can to make her feel welcome in the UK.
I don't think we've ever seen that where the couple goes home and the friends and family have decorated to welcome them, but they're not there as well to give them their privacy, which was perfect. I also found that very touching that they had left gifts and cards and decorations everywhere for them when they got back to his flat. But you failed to mention the most important thing of all, which I cannot believe.
The cat?
The orange cat.
The beautiful, beautiful kitten. Yes.
What is the cat's name? How floofy is it? May we see it again, please?
I feel like they greeted the cat, but I didn't write down the name. And the cat wasn't super floofy.
No, short hair. But I want to know more about the cat.
Yes. And why have we not seen more of the cat?
Exactly.
This should not be a side character. I mean, we've met Finn's cat several times. Come on, Andy. You're holding out.
Yes, he is. Next up, Arrah goes shopping for the very first time in England. And I just found this so wonderful, so funny. Arrah buys cheese.
She was so excited in that cheese aisle.
4 different kinds of cheese. 4 bags of cheese. Unbelievable. She buys sausages and beans, and she's planning to give Andy a heart attack. No, an English breakfast. She's so cute about the cheese. She's so excited. I don't know where that comes from, but it was delightful. And then when she brought it home and showed it to him and he was finding more cheese in the bag after she'd already shown him 3 of them, it was just adorable.
Just the way that they giggled together and how she was like, this is my payment for making this. And he's like, there better not be another one in there. Oh no, there's another one. Like there was no chastising. It was just like a beautiful organic interaction between the two of them. And I just adored seeing how excited she got over something as phenomenal and fantastic as cheese.
All good. Then she cooks the meal, and I don't know why she said she doesn't cook and she was calling for mom's help because she did an excellent job. It looked very authentic.
Fantastic.
I think that she was pulling our leg. She's definitely cooked before. And of course, the next experience has to be the quintessential English one. going to the pub. They go to meet Andy's friends, his two closest female friends, who are a little bit nervous about meeting, but everything goes great with that too.
Oh, they had so much fun. Their laughter was contagious. I really could have done without hearing about all their baby making stuff. I'm happy to hear that they're trying and that is part of their life goal. Fantastic. Just didn't need the detail.
Okay. We got a little bit of insight into the timeline. I was hoping that we would. When they initially sat down with the friends and the friends said, so you've gone from dating to meeting to getting engaged to having a wedding to moving to England in the space of a few months.
I missed that.
A few months, not even a year. Unbelievable. So, so quick. And yet they get along so well.
Their relationship is just it's so pure, and I'm really curious to know how they were able to do things in such a quick succession, because obviously we've seen, especially with David and Sheila, how difficult it's been to get Sheila's visa. So why were they able to do it so quickly,
Different
so
country.
efficiently? Okay, yeah,
Different country.
that makes sense.
Sorry, Americans. If you want it easy, you got to be UK citizen.
Good to know. Anyway,
Mm.
I really, really enjoyed their segment. I love watching the way that they interact, how they're both constantly laughing, how it just looks like they're beaming like red hearts out of their eyes when they look at each other. And I also loved how it was seamless for Arrah to fit in with his friends and for her to say, "Oh my God, they're louder than I am." I think that gave her that comfort to really be herself. Like their banter was so funny. God, I felt like at one point one of them was going to fall off their chairs. They were laughing so hard. Like it was just so wonderful. And I can only imagine how Andy felt in this moment to see his two worlds collide in just such an easy fashion, I guess. Their entire segment was absolutely perfection. Just the way that they go out of their way for each other, their beautiful and organic relationship. And I mean, what's the timeline?
Okay, now we don't care. I'm fine.
Still curious about that, though. Sometimes it just works, and that's what it looks like for them. And I really, really hope for the best.
I don't think we have to hope for the best. They're going to succeed no matter what, because every aspect of their relationship has happened so naturally and
Mhm.
has resulted in such success. Meeting the friends, meeting the family, organizing the wedding, getting her to come to the UK, having her integrate into the society, getting her first job right away.
Yes, I'm so proud of her. Like, she's not one of those
Unbelievable.
that just, sits back and is like, "Oh, I'm gonna try to acclimate." Oh, no, she immediately goes grocery shopping. She immerses herself in the culture by making, um, the English breakfast, which I've never had one of my own despite my visits to England. Just the effort that she's putting in. Like, she's just really embraced it, and it's so adorable. Really, really wish that they would record her the next time she goes to the grocery store, maybe even a bigger one, a different one with like a massive deli selection of cheese. Can you imagine how overwhelmed she's gonna be? But like in the best way possible. Or
It's a good
her
thing
just being
she's
like,
not
"Oh my God,
lactose
cheese."
intolerant.
I mean, maybe she is, but she's enjoying it at this point.
Yeah. Another cute thing that happened that I adored was Andy taking her to the very, very fancy hotel to celebrate her having gotten her first job in England.
Mhm.
They are loving their life together. She says she's happy with the choices she's made. She doesn't regret any decision she's made so far. Everything has been worth it. What more could you ask for?
I mean, I can't ask for anything else as a viewer. So I think that says a lot.
Okay. Shall we read on? We have one final couple to wrap up for this season, and that is Zena and Ibrahim. Oh dear. So we start off with Zena taking her granddaughter Tilly to a garden center. They're catching up together. Zena shows Tilly the engagement ring. Tilly is shocked. She asks a very important question. Why do you think he wants to marry you? And Zena is just spouting the same old garbage that she has been all season. Well, he tells me that he loves me and he thinks I'm his soulmate.
Ugh, okay, but why was she surprised that Tilly was surprised?
Yeah, of course. We already knew that the family wasn't very keen on Zena having this boyfriend and now fiance. So, of course, it was going to be an uphill battle, but Zena needs to have better arguments for herself. She
Mhm.
doesn't need to fight with people. She just needs to have better facts to rely on when she gets into discussions with people, because this is where it falls flat. He loves me and he thinks I'm his soulmate. Words are cheap, right? Talk is cheap. Actions speak louder than words. All of those things are out there for a reason.
Mhm.
What has he actually done for you, Zena, that proves that he loves you? He's asked you for money. He's asked you for gifts. He's told you not to dance, not to drink, not to do this or that.
He's lied about having social media.
Oh, yes, yes.
And who even knows about his family situation right now? Are his nephews, nieces and nephews his kids? Is his sister his wife? Like, there's just so many questions. And, before she even left to go to the Gambia, she was, I need him to, tell me what all of this is about. And then she just lets it go. Like,
Yeah,
what?
it's so
Like,
disappointing, the
mhm.
lack of follow through that Zena has had. And even when she's decided, okay, that I'm going to call him, I'm going to tell him my reasons, because she, of course, decides that it's not the right course of action for her to get married to him. Like, the reasons she gives are so,
Flimsy.
yes, very. Go find somebody your own age. What?
And then she says that he wants something serious, but she doesn't. What?
Yeah.
She
Like,
was
where did that
talking
come
about
from?
Yeah, she was talking about possibly getting engaged beforehand, which is why I wondered why she was surprised that Tilly was surprised that she got engaged.
Hmm.
Like, she's just so waffly with this man, though I'm proud of her for breaking it off because obviously that was the best thing that she could have done. But, like, again, she doesn't want anything serious. Since when?
Yeah. That's not the message that we've had from the beginning of the season with her.
Mm-mm.
Not at all. And it made me think, because of how quickly she transitioned from, okay, Ibrahim, go and be happy and don't be upset, bye bye, to picking up the phone and going, I'm going to start a dating app profile and maybe I'll try this country instead. It's much closer. I wondered if she hasn't already taken that next step, because
Mhm.
she did it so easily, dumping Ibrahim, that it really felt as if her emotions are so far uninvested in this man that they've probably gone somewhere else. She's probably already started talking to other people
Yes,
or a person,
I got that feeling as well.
because it was a very, very cold dumping.
I did not feel bad for him in the slightest. I love that she was like, "No, I don't like looking at you when you're this upset." Though I don't think I saw any tears.
He was not
Um,
crying.
no, he was not. He's just disappointed that now he's lost his cash cow and now he's gonna have to bark up some other tree.
Mhm.
And then he's gonna have to explain it to his family.
Yeah.
Yeah, now she's gone. Now we don't have this income. Now we can't rely on them for this. And anyway, good for her for breaking it off. I do hope the best for her. And I really hope that she continues to lean on her family because it seems as though they're a lot more grounded than she is. And Tilly is so incredibly insightful and emotionally mature for someone of her age because I think she's only like 19, right?
I'm not sure.
Either way, I love the way that she called Zena out. She was so articulate and clear with her concerns and her questions, and she's just an excellent communicator. I
Mhm.
find her very impressive.
What you said about Ibrahim going and finding some other victim to get money from, I agree with you wholeheartedly. I think that's what he'll do. But I also felt like there's a very good chance that he will continue to be in contact with Zena. They did say, we'll speak with you soon,
Mhm.
that he's going to guilt trip her into a few more gifts at least before he will finally let her go, in order to bridge the gap between her and whoever's next on his list.
Mm.
And she will probably be sending him some money because she feels badly that she's dumped him.
I can definitely see that.
Yeah. It was such an abrupt ending to this relationship that I felt like we weren't being told the whole story. Either she has already had something in the background going on with somebody else, and that's why she's able to do it so quickly and easily, or they're going to continue with some type of relationship, though probably not a romantic one anymore, and he will continue to use her as much as he can, if not suck her back in. I don't know.
Mhm.
That is always possible.
I don't know, it didn't seem as though he really tried too hard to talk her out of her decision.
No. No, I think he was leaving that for later on.
I
Give
guess
her
I guess we'll see. But anyway,
yeah.
I'm happy for her. I hope
Mhm.
she's happy with her decisions because I am happy that she broke up with him. I
I
hope
am
she
too.
doesn't send him any more money.
Mm.
But I mean, we've seen some spoilers online. Let's not get into those. But I guess we'll see.
Yeah, so we have one more episode left, which is the tell all next week. Looks like it should be interesting.
Mhm. I'm glad they didn't give too much away, so now we
Yeah.
can't I don't know, sometimes it's so easy to tell how it's gonna go, and it's like, I'm really not looking forward to this, but they really didn't give us anything, so I'm still hopeful that the tell-all is gonna be entertaining.
Yeah, and I think the sound bites that they were using to tease us about the tell-all were actually taken from this season. So there's nothing that was new that could have revealed anything to us. But I do have some predictions. I think Finn and Sandra will be done. Shorna and Adnan are definitely done. I think the Shannon and Mete will still be together. That will be going well. Sam and Ali, oh God, I hope that that's done. Marco and Sarah, I'm sure they'll still be going strong. And of course, Arrah and Andy, yeah, nothing's going to tear those two apart. What about you? Any predictions?
Zena's gonna have a new man, but otherwise, I completely agree with your
Okay.
predictions.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We'll see if any of them come true next week. I cannot wait.
Dramatic.
Any final comments on this season?
No, I found it very enjoyable. It was an absolute breath of fresh air in comparison to the US. Um, I've enjoyed quite a few of these couples, though obviously there are the villains that I never wanna see on my screen again. Hopefully, we won't have to. I'm really pleased with how this all went about, and I'm also glad that, we decided to cover this because the first couple episodes were just so good. We absolutely had to talk about it. So I'm really glad that we got to experience that together, even though we would have even without the podcast. But it's just really nice to be able to share our experience with the listeners. And anyway, thank you for agreeing to do that.
My pleasure. Thank you. Thank
Mhm.
you.
What are your last thoughts?
I agree. The UK is always a stunning version of 90 Day Fiancé. Never disappoints. I would like them to do a spin-off with Arrah and Andy. I really want to see what happens next with them. So if the 90 Day UK producers were interested in doing a happily ever after, I would be interested in watching that, just so long as they don't have Sam and Ali on it. Thank you very much.
And chicken.
Oh, well, I don't think they're together anymore anyway. So
But I don't know. They just keep putting out music videos.
keep them off my screen as well, regardless of whether they're together or not. Thank you
Yes.
very much.
I mean, if we could ask for one thing from 90 Day UK, no more of them.
Your wish is granted. Before we go, if you're enjoying the 90 Day Fiancé Honestly podcast, please subscribe to or give our show a follow. If you have an additional moment, please rate us and help other 90 Day fans to find our show. Thanks for listening.
Thanks, everyone.